Hello, Just Jax here and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do a little spot of painting. We're going to go for a bit of pointillism with cotton buds, because it's always fun to paint with different tools. So what I've done is I've pre-taped together in various thicknesses and different shapes clusters of cotton buds, and hopefully we've got enough to cover all the colours that we want to use. I've loosely sketched out just something simple, just 3 flowers in a vase. So we're not going to go too in details. We want to keep it nice and simple for people that have never painted anything like this before and they just want to have a go, because this is really fun. It's really easy. You can't really go wrong because you're not trying to make it realistic, basically. You might be using realistic colours if you want, but you're not going to be going for detail. So that's what we're going to do. I've got a variety of colours already. So I think we'll probably have to go for a little bit and let it dry, because these acrylics, I don't normally use these. I picked them up, they're really cheap, but they're also really watery. So I think what we'll do first is we'll do the background last. For some reason this hand is a funny colour. I think it's because I cleaned the surface, but I didn't clean it that well, so I've got a lucky hand. But that's alright, it's just stuck to my hand and nothing else. I think we will do all the flowers first and then we'll do the background last, because it doesn't matter what order you do these in. It's pointillism. It's all going to be rather loose. It's not going to be completely full of colour, but it's going to be as full as we can get it. So I think I will start with, because I've done it like a daffodil, a sort of dahlia and a chrysanthemum. So they're nice simple flowers to start off with. They're not too taxing when it comes to wanting to get detail in and such. So yeah, let's do it. We're going to get quite a bit of paint about the place. Don't worry about that. Now, you don't have to get your buds all shaped up as I did. You could literally just clump them together and see what you can do with what you've got. I thought I'd try and shape them a little bit to make it a touch easier. We'll get some of our centres in. Let's go for the opposite end of that. It makes life interesting for myself. I'm going to go for a nice bold flower in the middle here. I'll try and remember what ones. Well, I won't have to remember because they're the right colour. Right, the chrysanthemum is quite chunky. Now, I think we will go more on the orange front. And I have put some somewhere in a sort of strip. Now I am going to have a nice blue background because nothing else is going to be blue. With the flowers being nice and bright, this will make for good contrast. The beautiful thing about doing this is this can be a really nice, cheap, relaxing thing to do. The cotton buds cost pennies. The paint, this is all cheap materials, by the way. Like the paint cost, I think it was less than £2 for that selection of paints, and I'm not going to use any others, even though I was tempted for colour's sake. Well, I think I did, but they were gifted, so they don't count. But even if you needed, because I got some silver for the vase. Again, that was just £1.20 something for that tube. Like I say, the cotton buds cost pennies. This is just a cheap pad that I just do experimenting with and use it for backing paper. Again, cost less than £1. So you can do this again and again because these materials will last you longer than one paint. Apart from the cotton buds, they'll be no good after this. So for those of you on a budget and you want to get painting, you don't want to splash out on expensive brushes and expensive paints and expensive paper. Even the palettes didn't cost much. I think those ones were £1 for two, and that was a little bit more. That was £1.20 something for the one. But again, you can just use a plate. I've used plates in the past. It's only recently that I've invested in palettes because I'm doing YouTube. And I wanted to have more things to hand. But you can just use a plate. I was, like I say, I was using a saucer. You could pick up a saucer from a charity shop if you don't want to sully one of your own. But this paint comes off really easily from ceramics. Now I'm speaking from experience. So you don't even have to go out and buy one. Just clean it really well. It's already looking pretty cool. You wouldn't even have to go any further if you didn't want. That's already so effective how it is. I'm going to let that dry. Then when we come back, we'll be looking at adding another layer. Now, like I say, that looks absolutely fine as it is. You wouldn't need to go any further if you didn't want. I'm tempted to leave it as is. But I have bigger plans for this, so I am going to be taking it further. Looking pretty cool, right? Cotton buds and cheap paint, you'd be surprised what you can pull off. I'll be honest with you though, the thing is you do want to keep going. I need to break because I have to go and take my girlies out. But yeah, not too bad, right? Give you an idea of where this is going. Do a tiny bit more, just a tiny bit more. And then I will let it dry before the next bit. When you're doing this yourself, of course, you decide when you want to stop. You could keep going and going and going until there was little to no white left, just dot upon dot upon dot. Yeah, I think I will do one more bit. I'll let that dry, take my girlies out, cover that up so I can come back to it when we get back. But again, like I say, you could stop right there. It's really cool, it's really simple, especially when you pick organic things. I mean, you could even do a portrait like this. Be a little bit more finicky, but you could. Okay, dry enough to continue. I got rid of the old ones because they're also a bit stumped down at this point. I'll end up with just more of a block of colour than dots of colour. I've also darkened this yellow a touch and made a slightly more vivid pink because that was a bit salmon-esque. So let's go up there first. And bring a bit more to this guy, to my dahlia. sort of orangey. This is things I've got green with a bit of yellow. I'll take them out slightly darker. Like that. I suggest a bit of it. Yeah. Then you. And try using you. Yeah. Now for you. I'm going to bring a bit more of this in the middle. But then a bit more just outright red around the edge. And a tiny bit more on the orange side towards the middle there. But then we'll bring it back forward with that darker yellow. Same for you. I'll give you a tiny bit of this in here. But more of this. We'll do a bit more to this pot. Looks so cool, doesn't it? And so easy to do, and like I say, so much fun. It's so therapeutic, you can relax. Quite frankly, you can get carried away with the dots. Let's just get right in that edge. Okay. And we're done. That was a bit dramatic. And we're done. That is the final piece. How cool does that look? I think these were like 75p for some cotton buds. Less than £2 for some paint. About £1 for some paper. There's a lot of dramatic slaps today, isn't there? And like I say, you don't even need to get some palettes. You can use a saucer, an old plate, and you can make this. And it looks so cool. And it's really effective. It's a faster way to do a Pointillism style painting. And it has a really good effect. And it's one of those, it looks cool close up because you can see all the dots. It looks like loads and loads and loads of bubbles. But the further back you get, and that's one of the tricks with pointillisms, the further back you get, the clearer it looks, if that makes sense. It looks like it's more of a hole. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. I hope you are too. I hope it's giving you some ideas of things you can try at home. And this is nice and simple, quick and easy, and very relaxing. Like I say, you could so easily just get carried away with dotting. I had to pause a couple of times during this. But even then, I still wanted to get, well, I'll just get a few more here and just a few more there. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you found it relaxing too. Like if you like what you see, comment if you've got something to say, and subscribe if you really like what you see and you want to see more and know when it's coming. Thank you all again so much. Take care, and see you in the next one.